want me to do? They're both perfect squares, but do I want to jump right into taking square roots? No, you gotta figure out what goes into both of them. What's the biggest number that goes into both of them?
4.
4? Okay. So 64 divided by 4. Is it 16? I need confirmation. 16x squared, and 100 divided by 4 is 25. Just do a quick double check. Did we go big enough? Is there anything else I can take out? No, so I think we're good. And then you just carry that 4 along. Square root of 16 is 4, so 4x plus 5, 4x minus 5. And you would stop. So when you start to see more than 2 or 3 terms, then your thinking has to change a little bit. You can try putting these in groups of 2 and factoring something, or groups of 3. In this case, I do see a perfect trinomial right here. So that's where I'm going to put my parentheses. We can factor this. So set your parentheses. Just ignore the minus x to the 4th right now. You can carry that along. It's not going to do much right now. Since the leading coefficient is 1, I need 2 numbers that multiply to 64 and add to 16. What would that be? 8 and 8, right? So x plus 8, x plus 8. 8 times 8 is 64, 8 plus 8 is 16. Now I'm going to write this. I have 2 of them, so I'm going to write it as x plus 8 squared minus x to the 4th. Just want to make sure they were all x's all the way through. Now I have a perfect square minus a perfect square. So take the square root of this, what do you get? X plus 8. And then you're going to do the square root of x to the 4th is going to be plus x squared. And then x plus 8 minus x squared. Is everybody okay with that step? You're just taking square roots. Doing one with a plus, one with a minus. This is the plus right here. This is the minus. And these are your square roots. To get rid of the parentheses, we just rearrange this. It's going to be x squared plus x plus 8. And this one's going to be negative x squared plus x plus 8. And you have to check, because it is a nice, neat trinomial, you have to check leading coefficient is 1. Are there two numbers that multiply to 8 and add to 1? No, because there's only 8 and 1 and 4 and 2, so that's finished. We do not like to leave a leading coefficient of -1. So we're going to take the -1 out of this one and put it way in the front. I don't want to put it in the middle here, because then it looks like minus. I'm going to put it way in the front, rewrite this one. I didn't change that one at all. This one I took a -1 out, so it's positive x squared minus x minus 8. And then check again, are there two numbers that multiply to -8 and add to -1? No, you always have to make sure it's factored completely, all the way down. If you see this ever, a negative sign in the front, you need to get it out of there. Pull a -1 out, and then try to factor it. Okay?
So why did the one do the second?
Because remember, this was a perfect square minus a perfect square. One was with plus, one was with minus. That's why the first one didn't have it. Is that what your question was?
No. Why is it x squared minus x minus 8?
Because you pulled a -1 from here, a -1 from here, and a -1 from there. If
So
you're
it's like you divide them by.
divided each term by -1, yeah. Okay. Let's try another one of those. 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Minus z squared. Well, this time they switched the letters, so it makes it a little bit more obvious, okay? So we want a group right here. And that's probably going to be, again, a perfect square minus a perfect square is what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure this is going to be 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1, and then minus z squared, just to save time. Okay, so 2x plus 1 all squared minus z squared. Perfect square minus a perfect square. Take one of these, 2x plus 1 plus z, and 2x minus 1, no, plus 1 minus z. Which really you're just going to want to go in alphabetical order. 2x plus z plus 1 times 2x minus z plus 1. There's nothing you can do with those. So that's z. Questions on this one? Okay, so now, if we have something like this, 3y times y plus 1 plus 2 times y plus 1. So I really have to be thinking of this as in chunks. This is a term, and this is a term. Separated by this plus sign right here. What do you see showing up in both terms? Y plus 1. So you're going to take it out of here and out of here. And write it out in front, y plus 1. Once you do that, you just have 3y plus 2 left. And that's it, you're done. Okay. Try another one of those. Maybe 4x times x squared minus 9 minus 6x times x squared minus 9. So what do you see showing up in both terms? X squared minus 9. So we're going to take this x squared minus 9 out and this x squared minus 9 out. And then I'm left with 4x minus 6x. If you can keep going, you have to keep going. Okay? So x squared minus 9 is a perfect square minus a perfect square. So x plus 3, x minus 3. And we can do 4x minus 6x. What is that? Negative 2x. Put it in parentheses, otherwise it's going to look like, you want it to be times. If you don't put it in parentheses, it's going to look like minus 2x, right? And really the best way to write that is to put the 2x up in front. The negative 2x in front, and then x plus 3. X minus 3. Now I didn't get to those last 4 or 5 yet on that sheet. It's coming after this, but we ran out of time. So we'll take care of them tomorrow. Don't worry about them. And I just have a few that I want you to try on a new sheet for tomorrow. So you're prepared for the quiz. No, there is no way you can do all of these, because we didn't do perfect cubes yet. Just circle them, I'm just going to read off some numbers. Why don't you do, number 1, number 2, number 7, number 8, number 11, number 12, number 19, number 20, and why don't you give 24 and 26 a whirl? I think that's probably good. How many is that all together? 10. Okay, I think you're good. That's enough for tomorrow. We'll eventually be doing the whole page, so don't lose the page.